as you can see in the last video, I just felt like recording 2 videos today. I don't go to work for another hour and a half, and I just feel in my spirit that I have to come and tell y'all this. But let me just start it off. Give me a second. What's going on, family? Hope y'all are enjoying this weather. I don't like snow. It's cold. I got the sun on me right now, so thank the Lord. But actually, I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I be saying I don't like the snow, but between me and you, it looks cool on the ground and stuff. And when I'm driving, I be scared. Not scared because I don't know how to drive, but scared because the people around me, when it's snowing and it's slippery on the ground, they act like they don't. It's slippery on the ground. They act like they don't care about their life. I don't understand. But okay. Today's topic is gonna be on discernment. And for those of y'all who don't really understand what discernment means, I want to break it down because there's an easier way to explain it. Is y'all crooked? Looks like y'all are crooked. Let me fix y'all. So, how I look at discernment is, in simple terms, discernment is your ability to realize when something is off, or it's God's guidance into letting you know when something is not right. That's for simpler terms. There's so many examples in life, and I really want y'all to pay attention to these verses that I'm about to say because it's about to get deep. But the first verse I am going to discuss with y'all is Proverbs 2:11. Y'all know Proverbs. Y'all know Proverbs is one of the best books. No disrespect, but Proverbs is the one. Okay, I'm not gonna say that. Proverbs is one of the most fire books in the Bible because it has so many examples and has so many things that relate to this life that we are in right now and in the past, you know. And it's just I always go back to Proverbs and Psalms. Those two, you know. Everybody knows Psalms, you know. That's the biggest book in the Bible. 150 chapters. You know how long that took me to read, but it was well worth it at the end of the day. But the first verse I'm gonna get into is Proverbs chapter 2, verse 11. It says, "Discretion will watch over you. Understanding will guard you." And how I took this verse was they work with each other because God blessing us with the power of discernment gives discretion the ability to understand and confirm everything that we are saying. And how do we get that information? With reading, with spending time with the Lord. But the first example of my life that I want to give to y'all is there's so many. Discernment. The story that I want to start with is me telling y'all, okay, this is gonna come back. If y'all would have watched my testimony, y'all know that I had a skull fracture. But let me tell you the moments prior that I can kind of remember, but this is all I need for the story because the topic is discernment. So when I was a kid before my concussion, my mom would always be like, this is a bare minimum example, don't ride past a certain point when we're not home or you're gonna get in trouble. That was summarize it. And me being a kid, I took it upon myself. I was like, I'm having fun. I'm riding my little scooter. Wee. I'm riding my little scooter. And I go past that point. Let's fast forward. I go past that point that my mom told me not to pass, because I saw my older sister on the other side hanging out with her friend. And I'm like, well, if she can do it, then why can't I? That's like literally, I know if you're watching this and you're a kid, you need to realize that when your parents say something, that's God speaking through them when it's right, you know, when it comes from the heart. So, and it's only because they care about us. So I riding my scooter in the place where my mom says don't ride your scooter. I didn't care. You know what I'm saying? I didn't care. So as I'm riding my scooter, I see my sister, so I'm going to go ride towards her, and you know, before I knew it, I'm riding down the sidewalk, and then this big old, if he sees this video, maybe he'll drop his name in the comments, but I forgot his name. But they were playing football, and I was like, you know, I didn't even pay no mind to them. So I'm riding my scooter, and out of nowhere, this big old guy just freaking lands on my head on the manhole cover. I'll put an image on the screen, but it's like the sewer thing that's above the sewer. And I was like, wow. And from that moment, all I remember is him crushing my head against the manhole, not on purpose, and then somebody carried me back to my house. I tried to walk, and I was like, I got it. And mind you, when he landed on my head and in the sewer, I think I knocked out for a second. But then all I remember, this is the last thing I remember, well, the second to last thing I remember, is me. I was like, they were like, yo, are you good? And all I remember is screaming loud like a little girl. I was like, ah! That's all I remember. And then, like, when I zone back in, I'm gonna connect this to life. When I zone back in, the neighbor is carrying me. One of my neighbors is carrying me to the house, and rest in peace. He passed away, but he's carrying me back to the house, and I'm like, I got it. And then he lets me go, and I'm like, bro, what? So yeah, how I want to tie this example into life is, when God tells us something and we don't obey, there's gonna come consequences. Even if you don't see it, He will speak through people to make things happen. And I didn't get no whooping from my dad or my mom. I got a whooping from life, because that moment in my life, it really affected how I continued on with my life. It really limited me on certain things. I'm good now, and I don't have no issues, I don't think. I'm a little crazy at sometimes, but for the most part, I'm okay by the grace of God, because I could have died that day. He had his hand on me, and I see that now. But that's a little story time of how that concussion happened. Let me get to the next verse, though. It says, the wisdom of the prudent is to discern his way, but the folly of fools is deceiving. How I took this verse was, wise people, as in people who follow the book of life, and I'm not saying anybody who doesn't believe right now is a fool, but this is how I'm reading it, and I'm never gonna lie to y'all. But it says the wise, it's basically, for me to break it down for y'all, it's basically the wise plan their steps, and a fool acts blindly, and that leads to making mistakes. The fool doesn't listen to his authority or the creator and his words, and he ends up making mistakes that were preventable. But the wise listens to his authority and listens to God, listens to the word from the one and only God, and they prosper in life. Now, I don't want y'all to get that confused and twist my words. And I'm not saying once you start reading, life is going to be perfect. No. Y'all know, go watch the other video. when you become a follower of Christ, the world is gonna hate you because they hated him first. That's what it says. But I'm saying, you take this step and allow yourself to have discernment and allow yourself to know right from wrong. Accountability. Is it tying together? I don't know. But if you allow yourself to continue on these steps, you're only, there's no direction but up. We're gonna have them valleys, but there's also gonna be mountaintops. It just comes with the territory, you know. And the next example I want to get, when I bought my first motorcycle. So I love motorcycles, and in the past I loved them for the wrong reasons, but it really just gave me a exit out of reality. When I'm, I'm watching so many videos. So when I went to go buy my first motorcycle, prior to that, my uncle was like, yo, you need to get your license first, yada yada yada. Fast forward, I don't listen to him. That's God speaking through my uncle. Yo, you need to do it the right way so you don't get yourself hurt. Strike one. I go on the way to go get the bike. I take out all my money. I've been saving up, and I go broke. Mind you, I can't. I go broke to buy this bike, but by the grace of God, I get paid every week. But I go broke to get this bike. This is strike 50, because that $2,500 I used to buy the bike, I could have paid my credit card. I could have paid my car down. But what did I do? I ignored all those signs. God is, like, I tell you this right now, the art of this discernment that God gives us is truly a blessing, because it can stop so many things from happening. It can stop that domino effect of bad things that happen to you. But so we go to buy the bike. I went with my friend because he knew how to ride. I didn't even know how to ride the bike. I just wanted the bike. I seen it was a good deal. I had the money. Not really. So then we get the bike and we get back down. I start practicing and learning, and I'm like, I got it. Mind you, I still have this. I start to have this bad feeling, And then my uncle, again, he said, yo, before you get a bike, come talk with me. We're gonna talk about, like, how you need to go about things. You need to, it's the road is not forgiven. You can't be scared of the bike, but you gotta respect the bike. Ignored it. Strike two. So I end up taking the bike out a little bit, riding in the parking lots and stuff. I'm like, I got it. I don't need nobody else no more. I don't need to listen to nobody. So, moral of the story, I ended up getting in an accident, and God knows what happened. But again, this is in my life. I could have lost my life. Strike two from the man upstairs. Josh, you need to listen. You need to slow down. You need to do things right. You need to have discernment. You need to have discretion. When I give you discernment on your heart, I'm gonna give you words from your family members. I'm gonna give you words from people that are close with me in your life. But you need to listen. You're not gonna get lucky next time. And it's not luck. There's no such thing as luck. It's blessed. And God is always gonna have his hand on you to bless you. But I could have seriously been hurt that day. But guess what? That's not the point of this topic that I'm going on today. When God gives you discernment, instead of going about it your own way and ignoring it, it's not a random feeling. It's not something that happened in your past life. Stop it. Go read. God is pulling on you. God is pulling on you. The Holy Spirit is inside of you. Listen. I'm only saying this because I didn't listen. And by the grace of God, I'm in a better mental position now. And I understand things way differently than I did before. But I just want to, if you're watching this, I just want you to realize that God gives us so many opportunities to hear his discernment, to hear the discernment that he gives to us. I don't really want to keep y'all too much longer. I'm thinking I want to record another video. I got 2 videos. I am gonna record another video, but I hope y'all really take heed into what I'm saying. And before you go to the next video, in my comments saying, "Ew, he wore the same thing again." Come on, man. And so what if I did? John the Baptist was walking around in lamb's clothing over and over again, and they was hating on him. Nah, I'm just kidding. I love y'all, but I'm about to record a 3rd video for y'all because I just feel it on my spirit. And I hope y'all really take heed into what I'm saying and live by the book. Peace out. See y'all in the next video. Bye.